I almost shot and killed a kid with an arrow once when I was young. Bro, what? What? Hello everyone, Astrid here. If you don't know me, I'm a PNG tuber and captain of the Flying Tavern. A wandering tavern that travels across the skies and seas, where people can stop by, share stories, hang out, and maybe even become part of the crew. Yeah. I also, unfortunately, happen to be a vampire now. That's a story for another video. A couple of weeks ago, I organized my Tavern Festival to celebrate reaching 50 followers on Twitch. Feel free to check me out, by the way. I stream there 3 times a week and we have a lot of fun. But anyways, since the crew and I have been hanging out for a few months now, I wanted to learn a bit more about the people who are part of my crew, right? So I decided to make a game out of it. I sent my crew a form, asking them to anonymously submit random facts, fears, opinions, and stories about themselves. 4 people took part. So obviously, I hadn't seen any of the answers before. My job was simple. I would see each fact one by one, and I had to figure out which person had submitted it. And honestly, I was pretty confident. I mean, I've been talking to most of these people for the past 3 months, and you get a sense of the people you hang out with, right? Also, I'm the captain. Surely I know my own crew. Okay guys, first I have to Google what the hell is Jephyrophobia. What is Jephyrophobia? I had absolutely no idea what Jephyrophobia was. It turns out Jephyrophobia is a fear associated with crossing bridges. So obviously, I picked whoever I thought looked most likely to be secretly terrified of bridges, based on absolutely no evidence whatsoever. And I was completely wrong! But this one actually became much more interesting once the person behind it explained themselves. They told us that crossing certain bridges could trigger real anxiety for them, particularly when they could actually see the drop underneath. Apparently, when you ask people to anonymously share controversial opinions, they immediately start attacking entire countries. Someone had willingly typed the words, "Thai food is disgusting." Oh, that's very controversial indeed. Not, "Oh, it's not really my thing," or "I had it once and I really didn't enjoy it." No, disgusting. Somehow I actually guessed that one correctly, but before I could recover, we moved on to durian, the famously aromatic fruit. And this immediately sparked an extremely sophisticated culinary discussion in chat. Durian smells like shit, but tastes sweet. Don't you dare say cheese smells like shit. I am French. There are boundaries that can't be crossed on this ship. The person behind the confession explained that they first tried durian while traveling in Southeast Asia. They hated the smell, but loved the taste so much that they ended up eating it regularly during the trip. But then came what I consider the most personally offensive food opinion. I don't agree with that fact. Tacos are great. Who was guilty of saying this? In their defense, chat immediately began debating whether the tacos they had were actually good tacos in the first place. So I have chosen to reduce their sentence, but after 3 separate culinary controversies, the submission suddenly became much more concerning, because the next slide was this. Yes, it did. And I would like to remind everyone that the form asks for an interesting fact about yourself. Bro, what? What? I wasn't expecting this kind of shit. But one person apparently interpreted it as an opportunity to confess a near miss. I immediately became convinced I knew who had written it. I locked in my answer. Completely wrong. And the person who actually submitted it was someone I had mentally classified as one of the innocent ones, which raised significantly more questions than it answered. Unfortunately, they weren't around anymore to fully explain exactly how you almost shoot a child with an arrow. So the precise circumstances of the arrow incident remain a mystery, probably for legal reasons. And then we reached the final confession, which did not become more reasonable with context. Someone among my viewers, a person who apparently cannot wash their face without imagining that closing their eyes will cause a supernatural entity to spawn in front of them. Wait, what? What is this? This time, though, I actually had a very strong suspicion who this belonged to. I locked it in. Finally, I knew my people again. The game was finally over. And somehow, I won! Yeah! Perfect. Exactly what every captain needs. More power. And absolutely no material reward. So, I think the Flying Tavern is doing great. Mostly. If you enjoyed this, subscribe. Or come hang out with us live on Twitch and join this completely normal group of people. And next time I ask my viewers for anonymous confessions, I may need to be a little more careful about what I ask for.